Let's start with the hands behind. Flattening out the thoracic spine, which will cause the chest to lift. It slowly get some movement into the head to loosen the neck and the shoulders. Hands together. Applying pressure. Or the feeling that the chest is blooming upwards. So you can either press the hands together or pull them apart. It has the same effect. Let's start by pushing. And then linking the fingers and pulling. And pushing again. then pulling. And then the hands together. Now just reaching up and down with the hands together, just to really straighten the thoracic spine, pulling the head right back. And down. And again. And down. We want the feeling that this whole heart region is actually directed upwards. And now let's rub the hands. Belly, lower back. breathing it. The movement of the arms is coming from the belly and the back. Feeling the air, thick and viscous. And turning with it. And reaching forwards. And turning the belly back into the organic machine. Two elastic opposing forces that are always fighting each other. And then it's reaching to the side and really twisting the head and the eyes. Okay, let's rub the hands again. By the eyes. And then the hands up, pointing the fingers, and then peripheral vision, so snaking. The movement is slow in Tai Chi, partly because we're listening intently, but also because we're so tense. So those two opposing forces are so well balanced, barely any movement comes from them. Like when you see two tomcats facing off, and all of their movements are really slow because they're both so tense, so wound up, ready to explode. So that's the good tension. Bad tension is tension that blocks the flow of energy. And then hands up. Let's try the butterfly. You know the tortoise? You know, the one where you thread your hands underneath and grab the feet. So you're sort of pulling the feet, trying to pull your head down towards the feet. There's no end to the stretching and widening of the lower back. And just sitting down, spreading the legs. Feel the dantian drawing into itself. Stretch. So, just inch forwards a bit, spread the legs slightly wider. Then stretching again. Top of side. And then the legs out front. And just leaning forwards to stretch the back. Good. Now let's lean back and cycle. Pulling the knees towards the chin. The sacrum and the lower back peels off the ground. Then you just breathe and relax the lower back down without the knees moving away from the chin. And then coming up. and then up. And now just a bit of this one, elastifying the legs. Feel the spirit in the knees. The knees want to escape. And let the tail swing side to side. Feel the turn. Feel the up and down either side. And then the jog off the heels. The knees want to escape out and up. It's the action of the knees that gives you the light feet. And let's just pace. So moving side to side, but more sort of lifting the foot. Allowing the knee that moment of freedom when the other leg supports me. All the time observing the mind. So how do I feel when this knee comes up? Spirited, awake, sprightly. Okay. And then riding horse. collecting these lines of gravity, funneling them down through me. And once they get to the sacrum, they need to reach across, and then they'll go down the legs. And just coming off the heels. So now we're connecting with the levity. So gravity is the action of the earth upon my body. Levity is the action of the heavens upon my body. So there's something about the void of space that is drawing something up inside me. So I'm allowing this heat to rise up. So the thymus is smoldering, burning. And feel how it changes the posture. So the spine becomes stronger. The tail sticks back rather than down. This rears up, but also out. And then putting the feet down one at a time. So round the foot, around this foot, and then lift up and gather. I'm gathering gravity down. Then something has to happen at the sacrum to get it to distribute out, and then down the legs and arms. And then again, coming onto the toes, just lift the heels as high as you can. Always threatening to fall forwards. But it should feel really shaky and dangerous. And then rocking back. Heel, heel, and then gather. And now try pulling in the rope. slowly, so that you can really watch the mind, the spirit. As I go out, something in me opens and widens, becomes expectant, and then I wrap my hands around it almost greedily and pull it in. Reach out. My thymus needs to get involved. It needs heart. And then this is like I'm pulling into the belly when I pull in. Do exactly the same action in the legs. As the arm reaches, the leg straightens, the toes splay, the fingers reach, and then both limbs grip and pull. Just pulling from foot to foot, just feeling it. I'm pulling with the foot. It's almost like I'm trying to lift the foot off the ground. And that pulls me towards it. I'm moving because I'm really interested, not just in my destination, but in every aspect of the movement. I'm listening, particularly to the ground. Feel the natural turn. Let yourself, or you're always turning towards the direction you're moving. So if I'm going to be moving into the left foot, then I'm turning to the left. back to riding horse. Feel the lower back spreading. And now let's go down and pick up the ball. So the knees, widening the knees to go down. Feel the Dan Chen. We want the feeling that the legs sort of come up off the sacrum, up and then down. So there's a little bit of slack here. So this can really open because it's not just two straight lines like this. It's got this curvature here, which can flatten out to produce space. So this is coming up and down, and this is coming up and down. Exactly the same as it would be with the arms. And just reeling it in. So when we come back to riding horse, really we're just coming back to the Dan Chen. It's always got this feeling of grim. So it's like a place that you'd rather avoid. It's not reality. We'd much rather avoid it. So it's sucking every part of me towards this place. So the feeling of sinking, we're so familiar with that, riding horse, everything's packing down, everything's sort of compressing. So what that tends to do is just make the body a bit of a lump. and it's difficult for the fine levity energy to get through it. So now we want to remain sinking, but really sinking with this openness, not just here, but inside the body, so that this energy can filter up through me from the ground and come out in my opposite hand. It's got a real lightness, which is maintained with my mind, my listening mind. Spirit. It trickles up or fizzes up. It's like the champagne bubbles and up into the opposite hand. I'm drawing the energy up from the ground as my weight comes into the leg and allowing it into the opposite side of the body. And then other footfalls up and across. So I have to stay really open across the lower back. And now let's just try a little bit more of this. And then we'll lift the foot. then lifting the foot. The sinking. It's strange. It's like, when we have just one foot on the ground, it's easier to sink down it than when they're both on the ground. It's just difficult to keep your balance. Sinking down the outside edge. Encircling the foot. You're in the circumference of the circle so that the center of the circle can contain the other person or the energy that's coming up from the ground. Try and get the tail into it as well. So there's something happening here in the tail as I go around the foot. My little toe is very active. It's trying to stretch out, but also my tail is active. So the vestigial parts, in a sense, spirit is now a vestige because we very rarely need it or use it. And the spirit is very much connected with those vestigial parts of the body that were once very alive. Tail, little toes, little fingers, the things that are slowly disappearing as we get more and more civilized. Just feel the tail, something that wants to loop out and sneak around to the front. And now just bringing the knee a little bit higher. Remember, I'm pulling the knee up in order to settle down more into the sacrum and the supporting leg. I want to continue until I achieve body as one unit. It's feeling that I'm just one thing from that point on the ground upwards. What keeps the upper and lower body separated is the tension in the lower back, which will thrust the chest up. In the spine. So this stretches the lower back and the sacrum, and then you can really feel like the spine is reaching down the leg and into the ground. The leg has just become an extension of the spine. Let's just bring it back. I'm sinking down the back of the leg and a sense of rising up the front. And now let's step. So lifting the foot as before. So what I want is for the foot to go out and down from the action of the supporting leg. Yeah, so normally we'd just stick the leg out, put it down. Yeah. So the leg that's supporting me, if anything, it's straightening when I walk. We want this to be the opposite. So what I don't want is when the foot goes down for me to have this feeling that I'm rolling like this. It's not the leg falling down, pulling me with it. I want the feeling that when I put the foot down, I've slipped underneath like this, and then I pull with the leg, and then this foot comes up and I slip underneath it. So remember, John used to say, when you move from one foot to the other in Tai Chi, imagine that you're slipping underneath the ground. It's just that, really. But we're actually slipping under the ground in order to get the foot to go out, not simply to transfer the weight into it. So let's try it. This is difficult. The supporting leg takes a lot of strain. So bringing the foot up. I need to get my lower back right. And then I can just extend the foot. Now I want the feeling the foot is extending because something from behind me, like imagine your tail is extending forwards from underneath, and that's sending your foot out. And then I just bend this leg to get the foot on the ground. Once it's on the ground, I can then use my toes to catch the ground and pull me towards it. So this comes up. So I have to get it high enough just to get this. I mean, I'm sure not everyone's as useless as me. For me, this part of my body, my lower back, is a real problem area. So I have to yank my knee up to get it in any way active. And now here, I want that foot to go out because I'm sinking, but I'm sinking and squeezing forwards underneath. And then I just lower myself into this leg, and then I can pull myself forwards. It's difficult. So let's try again. I lift the foot. You just have to have a real presence of mind in each foot, especially the one I've got my weight in. And now here, I get this foot to go out because something here has come under. And then I just bend this leg a little bit more to get the foot down. And then I catch with the toes, and that pulls me forwards. So the toes catching the ground. It's just the right sort of activity to get this to come up. Because again, I want this knee to come up because I've pulled myself into the other leg. And then this comes forwards from underneath. And then I put the foot down and pull. I remember John working on this. I just didn't understand what he was talking about. It's funny how it all comes flooding back when you catch it. So I just have to somehow get over the weight of the leg. So the leg's quite heavy. So as I leg out, this is going to happen. It's going to pull me down into it. I'm going to have my weight in it before it's even hit the ground. So I want to sink down behind the leg and under the leg. And then it goes out, heel down first. Then the foot goes down and the toes catch and pull me into it. And this is all the way through the form. This is how we should step every time we step in the form. The toes need to be Very good at this. So we need to do a lot of work off the heels to give the feet the right sort of active, elastic strength. So my toes pull me into the leg. I'm being sucked down into this leg. That will help this one rise. And then this one can go out because I'm already underneath it. And settle down, and then toes down, and I'm clawing my way. So this has to come up so that I get this real feeling that I'm underneath it. And then I can send it out like this. And catch and pull. I love watching like the rock climbing. You know, when they have those walls in gyms, those rock climbing walls with these sort of the lumps screwed on. And so, imagine the hand goes out, has to catch one of these holds and then pull them towards it. But they're just as expert with their legs. So if they can't reach with their hand, they'll lift their leg and reach it with their foot. And so these four limbs all pretty much doing the same thing. Those guys have got the strongest bodies on the planet, those rock climbers. And fantastic spirit. I mean, to take the risks that they do. When they film them, it makes great TV, rock climbing, because they can really zoom in. So they're there with the climb and you're watching him do all these holds and pulls and lifts. And then like the camera will zoom out and then you'll just see this face and there's a tiny little dot on it, which is the guy climbing. And you just see how alone he is. And this real sense that you're shrinking into the dantian. And that is charging you up and making you alive enough to extend out this energy body from the spine. So in one sense, you're becoming nothing, and in another sense, you're becoming everything. And then let's bring it up. This is going on all the time. I've got a student and she really took this to heart, sort of never being still. So she's always moving from leg to leg. And it really irritates all her family and her friends, which for me is a sign that it's right. Her daughter's always saying, "For God's sake, will you stand still?" The spine is a coil. It's basically the two legs have extended up and coiled around each other. It coils one way and it uncoils and coils the other. Play. You're like having a game, playing a game with your friend, or fighting friendlily. So again, it's the two forces battling, coiling and twisting and squeezing. And it's that antagonism that produces spirit.